We have a temperature set point, the real temperature. We have the regulation state. We have the compressor state. Do we send fresh air or not? A bit of oscillation, but the regulation works. This is for the office. Now let's have a look at the child room. No air demand. The regulation is off. Oh, but why is the temperature oscillating? IoT, curl, JSON, SQL, all used to control an air conditioning system, UniPlot, and the Internet of Things. You might have seen in our latest release the new use case section in the documentation. The first use case is a real-life example of UniPlot interacting with a system called AirZone. AirZone allows you to manage your air conditioning system room by room. It offers an API to read info from the whole system and interact with it. This use case covers all the topics you need and provide the whole code to do so. We will talk about curl request, REST API, SQL Database, and services in UniPlot. If you need the code and want to look how it's done, everything is provided inside the installation folder in UniPlot Samples IoT. The use case will explain you first why to control an AC system with UniPlot. In the introduction, I showed you a concrete example of questions you can have on your system and study it with UniPlot. Then, we enter the details of the API using POST request to read the system status. We will store it in a database using SQL. Up to now, everything is manual, so we automatize UniPlot thanks to services so that it reads and stores the status at a given frequency. You can have a look at the code to see how I did it and reproduce it on your side. Once we have a database with sufficient amount of data, I show you how to link your database to a template I created for the occasion. This is a template I created for the use case and that I show you in the introduction of the video. I explain you how to open it and load the data inside to get, finally, this kind of diagram with all the data recorded over the time. Because plotting is not enough, I show you also how to make it user-friendly. We create together an interface to select the range of data you want to plot in your graph. And then, finally, once all this is ready, we will see how to use the file watch at function to activate a live plotting so that the points are adding up to your diagram as the measurements are registered from the API. As I said at the beginning, AirZone API offers you not only to read but also to act on your system. This is what the 5th chapter is about. We'll see how to add callback to our button, create the callback function AirZone curl put, and then create field function. And this way, all those buttons and the value that you can read here can interact with our API system from the AirZone. And if you right click here, edit the text, you can see the kind of field function I created. And in our button, if I right click properties, you will see that I created some functions that are calling specific part of the API to act on the system. As I said, you can find all the code and the template in Samples IoT in the installation folder of UniPlot. Feel free to have a look, understand, and ask questions if you want to know more about it. And now that UniPlot gives me all the tools to work on this, it's time to understand what is happening to my air conditioning system. Thanks for watching us. For any question, contact us at support@uniplot.com. Do not hesitate to check our website www.uniplot.com and click on the logo to follow us on LinkedIn and get fresh news of UniPlot.